Hello, my name is Sarita, and it is a pleasure to welcome you back for the 5th episode of Maps to Quantum Sovereignty, in which I am showing you a way through ancient shamanic techniques and quantum meditations to align yourself to sovereignty, the absolute truth of who you are as a multidimensional being, and from there ascend into 5th dimensional consciousness. In the first 4 episodes, we learn through accessing the quantum architecture of the Earth and stellar stars and our own 5th dimensional heart center that it is possible to transcend linear space and time and come into true presence within ourselves. In this episode, we will learn about the collective consciousness and how to access even more sovereignty by unhooking ourselves from collective beliefs. When you truly understand yourself as a being who has free will, sovereign choice in every moment, on every level of your being, from the physical right through to the spiritual level, it is an empowering and totally different way of looking at yourself and the world we live in. As I have demonstrated in the last episode, what we believe is what we manifest for ourselves in our reality. So it is vital, if we want to have fulfilling lives, to be able to discern between what beliefs we have taken on from others and what are actually our own. As you spend more and more time in meditation, looking within from a place of being the witness rather than engaging in the drama of your thoughts and feelings, you will begin to see with more and more clarity what beliefs are yours and what are not. The more I do this inner work, the more I'm astounded by how much I've been carrying around and creating my life from that has nothing to do with me. As I let more and more of these patterns and beliefs go, I have more space within me to connect to the present moment within the source field and insert new programs that bring me more joy and serve me better. The reason we are so susceptible to negative belief programs from others is because as children, up until the age of 7, we are living in an alpha brainwave state. This is a hypnagogic state that allows us to absorb and retain information easily and quickly. Therefore, events and people can have highly influential effects on a child. If a child is given false information, like for example, children should be seen and not heard, this information could well be used as data to create their reality. Unconscious data creates a self-perpetuating and self-fulfilling cycle where situations mirror unconscious beliefs. And so a child who took a belief like this on could easily end up as an adult in situations and relationships where they are too frightened to speak their truth and are never listened to or feel unheard and misunderstood. Some of our most limiting beliefs are not only those we've inherited from our immediate circle of family, friends, teachers, etc., but also from the collective of humanity. When we are not sovereign, we easily pick up beliefs and ideas from the collective and believe them to be our own. It is easy to get hooked into collective beliefs as thoughts en masse have a lot of energy, power, and momentum. The collective consciousness of humanity exists within the 4th dimension. The 4th dimension is a level of our reality where all of our thoughts, ideas, archetypal energies, beliefs exist. It is the astral plane, and we are interacting with it all of the time, although most of us, unless we have a very well-developed 6th sense, cannot see it except through our dreams. This is the level of consciousness where you experience telepathy, like when the phone rings and you know who it is, or you know what someone else is thinking and feeling. There are many levels and layers to this dimension, But for the purposes of this series, it's important for you to know that what happens within the fourth dimension of reality manifests within the third dimension of matter. 4D is a polarized reality of light and dark, and it's a bit of a quantum soup of everyone's thoughts and feelings, as you can imagine. But as we become more and more self-aware and sovereign through tools such as meditation, and can develop our sixth sense, we can begin to navigate and tune into this dimension more easily, and then choose to remain unaffected by any of the denser energies within the collective pool. The more sovereign we become, the higher levels of consciousness we have access to in this dimension, and can eventually raise our frequency to move through the layers of the fourth and align into the fifth dimension, where polarization ends and the unification of consciousness reigns. The illusion of separateness within the third and fourth dimensions is what causes us humans much suffering. And this is what needs to be transcended via sovereignty to access the realm of heaven on earth that is 5D. Limitation and separation cause us suffering because they're not our truth. As a collective, when we hold false beliefs of separation within us, individually or as groups, we are giving energy and power to duality rather than unity, falsehood rather than truth. Collective beliefs can be so ingrained and powerful that they can limit the very nature of our being, the nature of our species. Take, for example, the belief in aging and dying. This is the antithesis of true sovereignty. We are divine beings of light, having a 3D expression in this realm. Everything about this mortal perception or program reinforces our belief in victimhood. It is systemically causing competition, survival-based anxiety, and fear. How about the more modern belief that doctors know your body better than you do? There are countless stories about people dying very quickly, having received a terminal prognosis, and when autopsied, found to be completely healthy, and it was an admin error. Belief can end your life, and it can also save it. We need to stop giving our sovereign power away to other people and choose for ourselves. As the science of epigenetics becomes more understood, we are learning that it is consciousness that programs our genes and therefore our cells and our bodies. No longer do you have to be a victim to the collective programs of inherited genetic disease or any other illness. Sovereignty invites you to step off the dead-end road of victimhood, to step away from untrue and unserving collective beliefs, to step away from being controlled, to being in fear, to feeling unworthiness, shame, depression, anxiety, anger. With the right tools, we can step out of all of the limitations of duality that exist in the third and fourth dimension. Our attention or our presence within something or with something gives it energy and momentum. Or in other words, it makes it real. When we unhook from collective beliefs, we disempower them. We disengage our presence to that thing, and it no longer has any power to affect our reality. As we each make free will choices to disengage from collective beliefs rooted in separation, not only do we weaken these false beliefs, but also by disengaging from them, we become a living example that others can follow. We are a collective organism. The actions, thoughts and feelings of one affects the whole. If enough people can change a collective belief within them, then that creates a spontaneous leap of consciousness for the collective. So now I'm going to explain to you how the next meditation is going to go. We are going to unhook from collective beliefs. So first of all, I'm going to relax you as always, and we will begin by connecting to the breath and letting go of the ego mind. Then, as with the last meditations, we're going to set ourselves up in the energetic architecture of the Earth and stellar stars so that we are held between the cosmos and the Earth and connected to our 5D hearts and actioning this meditation and process from sovereignty and the present moment. We will then begin to feel the 5D octahedron, 2 four-sided pyramids stuck together within our heart centers. And we will fill this sacred form with the breath of divine light from the source field and expand it until it encompasses our whole body. So we're going to breathe that light into the octahedron on the in-breath and then expand it on the out-breath. Breathe in, expand, breathe in, expand. Then, sitting within this octahedron, we will now begin to feel the energy of the collective consciousness of humanity all around us within the 4th dimension. Just a note, it might feel a bit hectic or chaotic. Remember, we will be deliberately tapping into the soup of everyone's thoughts and feelings, but from that sovereign state encapsulated within the energetic octahedron. I will then begin to guide you to perceive any energetic hooks that are within this space of your personal sovereignty. Any hooks that are rooted in limiting belief systems, rooted in fear, limitation, or separation. You are then going to allow yourself to feel these hooks in as much detail as you can. We are then going to release them from our being and let them go back into the collective where they came from. You will then feel what it is to be free of these hooks and to be clear and empty, unencumbered and light. And then we will fill the gaps that were left behind by the hooks with light from our heart centers. Before we start the meditation, I'm reminding you that you're a sovereign being and I am merely guiding you in this process. So if at any point you feel like doing something slightly differently, follow your own intuition and that's absolutely fine. So when you're ready, we're now going to begin. I encourage you to sit up if you can for this meditation. And you're going to let go of all of the information that I've just given you. You're going to take a big breath in, a big breath out, and close your eyes. And in the darkness behind your eyelids, bringing your awareness to your breath. Feeling the breath as it weaves into your body. Feeling the breath as it weaves out of your body. A divine weave of light and information from source consciousness, filling you informing you, encoding you. Breath in, breath out. A total act of concentration. as we allow the ego mind and all resistance to melt away. And slowing your breath down just a little without forcing it. Let the breath take you deeper and deeper into your own beingness, your sovereignty, your truth. And we are now going to set our intention to unhook ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally, energetically, and spiritually from any collective beliefs that no longer serve us. So setting your intention so that your body and your being understands the work you are about to do. So we are now going to connect ourselves to the earth and stellar stars. So allowing yourself to perceive the stellar star above you, the magnificence and power of it, the divine fatherly energy of the cosmos. And feel the two earth stars beneath you, the fiery heart of 3D Gaia, the white hot octahedron of 5D Gaia, divinely maternal energy nourishing you from below. And feel how they are connected with two interwoven threads of light, one gold and one white, that run through the central core of your being. Feel how these two threads light you up and feed you with life force, creative energy, and information codes. Feel how these threads within you hold you to the stars, the above and the below. Feel how you are tethered and grounded to your earth and lifted up into the cosmos. And can you bring your awareness to your 5D heart center once again? Feel the light of that crystalline diamond. Feel the light of that crystalline diamond, that white octahedron, that symmetry within the center of your chest. Feel its connection to the divine architecture of the above and the below of your being. Feel its place within you, informing you and nourishing you with information of unity, consciousness. And we are now going to begin to expand this octahedron using the breath of light from source consciousness, filling it with every in-breath and expanding it with every out-breath until the octahedron fully surrounds and encapsulates us within our own sovereign awareness. So breathing in now and filling this crystalline diamond with light from source. Breathing out and expanding it, growing it. Breathing in, filling it with light. Breathing out, expanding it. Allowing your breath to fill and grow your heart center, bigger and bigger, until it fully encapsulates your entire body. And so now your whole body, your whole being is within this sacred, sovereign form that allows you to be aware of what is yours and what is beyond you. So feel the energy, the texture, the vibration and light of your being within this form. Feel who you are, what is within you. Know yourself better. And as you sit within this sovereign octahedron, can you allow yourself to begin to perceive beyond the octahedron the consciousness of the collective of humanity within the fourth dimension? So allowing your awareness to roam beyond the octahedron and allow it to perceive all of the thoughts and feelings, ideas, sensations and energies of the collective consciousness all around you and to which you belong. Feel the quality of this fourth dimension. Feel the different energies within the soup of the collective consciousness of humanity. And feel them all from a place of sovereignty within your octahedron. And as you allow yourself to feel the collective, can you also begin to perceive that within your being, within your octahedron, that there are energetic hooks from the collective that are rooted in separation, limitation, and fear. Can you allow yourself to perceive these hooks within you? Allow them to come into sharp focus for you. How many are there? What color are they? Notice their size, their shape, their texture. Can you feel the sensation and energy of them within you, within your sovereign form? Allow yourself to feel them. Allow yourself to feel them, to see them with more and more clarity. Seeing collective energetic hooks rooted in fear, limitation, and separation. And it is now time for you, as a conscious act of free will, sovereign choice, to release these hooks, to release them from your body and your being, and allow them to go back into the collective soup from whence they came. So in your own way and in your own time, you are now, one by one, going to unhook yourself from these collective beliefs and programs, and watch as the hooks leave your octahedron and go back into the collective pool. Using all of your will, all of your imagination to unhook yourself from what no longer serves you. And as the last of these hooks is released from your being, can you allow yourself to perceive the empty gaps that they have left behind. And you are now going to fill these gaps with the light and frequency and intelligence of unconditional love from Source Consciousness. Breathing in this love, this light, and filling these gaps. Feeding them energy of your truth, of your nature. Breathing in this light, this frequency. Nourishing these spaces, making them whole once again. And feel how the gaps delight in this new frequency, more attuned to the sovereign being that you are. Breathing in light, filling every empty space, every gap within your octahedron with the frequency of unconditional love. And now that your sovereign heart space is healed and whole, you can choose to either leave yourself encapsulated by it, or to reduce it back in size and allow it to land in your heart center once again. Whatever feels right for you is right for you. And then you are going to place a hand upon your heart and give your thanks to the collective, and give your thanks to the collective for the lessons that you have learnt through these hooks that have brought you into more sovereignty. And you are going to give your thanks to yourself for the work that you have done today. And open your eyes. So now you have a method to navigate within the quantum soup of all of the collective beliefs, feelings, ideas and thoughts within the fourth dimension. And you can unhook from anything that doesn't serve you. You can use this meditation as many times as you need to if new hooks come in or as deeper hooks are revealed to you when you're doing your inner work. In the final episode, we're going to reintegrate the sacred masculine and the divine feminine aspects of ourselves into our endocrine-based energy centers so that we can come into a more divine union of balance and harmony within ourselves, expressing our true nature as the microcosm of our earth and sun and the entire universe. So until then, thank you very much for listening.